All right, I guess we're rolling. You ready? Round two.
Round two.
So
I'm back.
When was the last time? Was it a year ago?
It was warm, so it would have been probably May or June.
Not even a year.
Not a year.
Nate Illingsworth out of Boise, Idaho, we'll say.
Yep, Nampa, because I can't afford to live in Ada County.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
When I lived there, Napa was like, is it Caldwell, Napa, then Meridian?
Yep.
I lived in Meridian, and it was like growing. And I just drove through there recently, and I'm like, holy, like, Napa's the new Meridian in Caldwell.
Yeah, it grew. It's like, so I grew up like an hour and a half from where I live right now. And so we'd have to go there for everything because where I grew up, we didn't have a Walmart or anything.
Ontario, Oregon?
Baker City.
Oh, I like Baker City. That's right.
We shouldn't have probably talked about Baker on your podcast. I don't want anyone to know about it.
About what? I don't know what you're talking about.
But dude, it was like, I remember Nampa got Costco and we were like, dude, this is sick. And then I left for a long time, came back, and I was like, now I'm there. And I'm like, whoa, we have everything just in Nampa. I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah. 2024/2025 been a pretty good year for you.
In some ways. In other ways, it's been, I don't know. It's like you only see the good stuff because I'm not going to post like my failures.
Why not? I want to see you fail. I'm joking.
No, yeah, it's been good. It's been really good. And then it's also been really tough. So it's been kind of a weird year.
Well, yesterday you posted something on Instagram that I saw, and I was pulling up to my house to clock out and check in as a dad. And it was the last thing I watched on my phone before I got out of the car. And I was like, yes, I like that kind of content. So you came in and I asked you about it, and you're like, yeah, that's a value post. No one watches those. And I'm like, damn, that's like the best thing I think you've ever posted. So what did you post?
Yeah, so some guy was like, have you made any progress whatsoever? And normally I don't care what people say.
That was his question?
Yeah, that was his question.
So a derogatory, rhetorical question.
Yeah, it was me doing the open workout, which, like, I know if me and that guy worked out together, I would, like, absolutely kick that guy's ass in a workout. But he posted that, and I was like, I'm going to make a video about this. Because I think, like, I don't know, for me, and for a lot of people that have gone through, and I'm not talking like, hey, I want to lose 10 pounds and cut down like for the show or something. Like I'm talking like guys that are like, oh, I'm morbidly obese and I want to not be obese. I want to just be like a normal sized person. Like that extended like year-long weight loss is way different than, hey, I'm cutting for the show. And you go through like these ups and downs and then you'll hit like these plateaus. Yeah. And I think a lot of the plateau, like at least for me, like my body responds pretty well to like, hey, if it's in a deficit, it's losing weight. But then sometimes life just throws a bunch of stuff on your plate and you're like, oh, I'm not eating very clean right now. And then a week goes by and 2 weeks go by and then you're just stagnant. And then you go through these lulls and then it kind of gets in your head. I know like for myself, my wife told me the other day that I have really bad body dysmorphia, which like.
You probably do.
I don't know. I don't really still like know completely what that is, but it was because I was like standing there looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, dang, I'm like disgusting. Like this is really bad. And she was like, what are you talking about? Oh, and then you know what it was? So I pulled up at Spokane Valley Archery the other day and you and your dad were there. Yeah. And your dad was like, you don't look, because I weigh 223 right now. And your dad was like, you don't look like you weigh 223. You look like you weigh 200 pounds. Yeah. And I was like, what? So I was telling my wife that. And then she was like, yeah, I think he's right. And I was like, no, like, that's crazy. That's not true. Because, like, you don't believe that. Like,
and the only reason my dad said that is like, I introduced you to my dad as like, hey, this is Nate. He's like had a significant weight loss, kind of stemmed from, he started, I think, the December Chub Challenge one year, and then he just kept it going. And then my dad, how much weight have you lost, like, off the scale? Was it close?
80. It's like right at 80. Basically. Yep.
He removed an 80-pound bag of nothing, sand. For lack of term. Take an 80-pound sandbag off your body. Take 80 pounds of flesh that your heart does not have to pump vessels, like create nutrients and remove waste. Like you just add years to your life when you don't have unwanted 80 pounds, man. 80 pounds. You put an 80-pound pack on me, that's a pack out.
Oh, you feel it.
And now you're supposed to work out, walk around,
get in and out of your car.
Anything with 80 pounds.
Yep.
It's significant. And so, yeah, my dad was like, holy smokes, man, you look good. What do you weigh, 200 pounds? And you're like, no, I weigh 220 or whatever. And he's like, you look like you weigh 200 pounds. And I was like, I agree, because I hadn't seen you in almost a year. And I was like, yeah, you look like you're on your path.
Yeah.
Who gives a F what the scale says? How do you feel? Like, physically?
I feel really good. Yeah. And I've been like, I've gotten like super down the CrossFit rabbit hole too.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, but I feel like great, except like I have a couple things going on right now. I dropped a 45-pound plate on this foot. And then this foot, I was doing double unders in barefoot shoes. And I don't know what happened to my Achilles, but it's like swollen right now and it hurts, but it's not like popped. Like it's not ruptured, but other than that, I feel really good.
Caution.
Yeah. I think I'm done with the barefoot shoes.
Okay. Yeah. Double unders. Yeah. Barefoot shoes. Totally get it. Not good. Not good at all. Especially, did you do a lot of volume?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
Yeah.
When did you get double unders?
Like a week ago.
What are double unders?
It's where you jump rope, but every time your feet come off, it's 1-2 instead of just one.
So 2 rotations for 1 jump.
Yeah.
A lot of timing.
A lot of timing. Well, it was funny because I started going to a CrossFit gym, and that's one of the things. I think I mentioned this to you. I'm going to start doing like more value stuff on my page. And
I would like that.
One of the things I'm going to really do a lot this year is like I'm going to go to different gyms and like just try to tell people why I think that they should go to a CrossFit gym. And anyway, I was at this gym. We were doing this workout. It was a 25-minute EMOM. And one of the minutes was you did like 40 double unders or something like that. So I would do double under, single under, double under, single under. And the coach like watched me for the first one. And he came over and he was like, hey, you're not going to do that again. And I was like, oh, no, I can't do multiple. And he was like, no, you can. You just don't understand how to do it. And then he just like broke it down for me right in the middle of this workout. And then from that point on, I've been able to do double unders. It was crazy.
Who's that coach or what gym?
CrossFit Canvas. His name is John.
Where's
Williams.
that gym at?
It's in Caldwell.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Nice gym.
It's super nice. So like, I mean, sometimes, you used to own a CrossFit gym, so you know. Sometimes you go into a CrossFit gym and it feels like you're like in a prison. Mm-hmm. But his gym is brand new.
Ooh.
It's like really nice.
He cares.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say that he just cares more, but like the aesthetic part matters to him, obviously. Yeah. Like the aesthetic to me personally doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. The coaching does, the vibe, the energy.
Yep.
That's really important. But I will say, like, if I were to open one tomorrow, it's gonna be pretty pristine.
Yeah.
I do like it nice and tidy and clean. I want to give people an impression when they walk in the door. Not mandatory, but you know, different strokes for different folks. You have been doing CrossFit, like dabbling in CrossFit, or have you been like consistently doing it for a while?
No, like, well, so what happened when I came and worked out with you last time, we did work out. It was 3 rounds of 25 front squats. And then every time you put the bar down, you had to do 10 box step overs. And
is that when you were squatting on your toes? Like Michael Jackson?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I remember that.
And then 25 cals on the assault bike. And we did that workout and you finished, I was in like round 1.4, I think. And then you were done. So you're just like hanging out. And I remember thinking, I was like, wow, that was crazy. Because I was doing the bar, you were doing 95. And I was like, oh, this guy's like way more fit than me. What does he do? And then I started doing like some ELKSHAPE training stuff. And that was kind of like my intro into the CrossFit space. And then I was like, oh, this is like a way better way to train, which actually, I don't think I told you this either. So I had ran one ultra when I came in, we podcasted, and I was going to do another ultra. And for my first one, I did like a ton of running, like ramped up my volume, did like the typical like ultra prep. And then for the second one, I was like, man, this CrossFit thing I feel like is like making my legs and lungs a lot stronger. I'm going to try to not run that much and do more CrossFit. So I ran, I think the month before, I must have ran like 50 miles or 30 miles or something, like really low volume going into that ultra. And I was a little nervous. And my second one, I ran it on a Saturday and was squatting on Monday. I just recovered like that.
That's legit.
Yep.
The human body amazes me. Yeah, and I don't know if that's the formula for everybody, right? You kind of have to figure out your own formula. I personally, let's just pretend I didn't have knee surgery 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I personally, if you were like, Dan, I'm going to sign you up for an ultra marathon. First off, I'd be like, okay, what kind of ultra? Are we talking 50K or are we talking 100K or a 100 miler? Furthest I've ever ran is with Cam Hanes, 22 miles, according to my watch. Okay. Didn't train for that. Hadn't ran. Still don't like running.
Yep.
To me, running's, maybe I should do it more. because I don't like it. I don't know. But when I integrate or sprinkle running inside a cross-training workout, i.e. do some barbell or a gymnastic, calisthenic, and then run a said distance, that's one round, do 5, 10 rounds of that. And so maybe it's a 800-meter run and you do 10 rounds. Okay, so you ran 4 miles in the workout, but you also did this many pull-ups, this many push-ups, this many front rack squats, lunges, whatever. I like blurring that distinction a ton. Whereas if you're like, okay, we're going to go run for 4 miles right now, I'm like, okay, it's not as sexy. So what I've typically done historically, like, is a lot of times, like, I need to do a recovery day. I want to be moving, and I don't like running on pavement. I'll go get in the truck and drive to a trailhead and run either on deer trails, elk trails, or kind of a single track trail. And I'll just set a clock, be like, okay, I'm going to run out an hour, turn around and come back. Or if there's a loop, that'd be even better. Ends up being 12 to 13 miles. But it's like you're kind of feel like I'm elk hunting. I'm changing elevation. I'm losing elevation. The terrain's uneven. And I'm like, this, to me, I feel like I'm getting a benefit for hunting. Whereas if you're like, okay, I'm going to drop you 13 miles off from here and you run back on pavement, F my life. I'm not into that. So you have to kind of enjoy a little bit of that. What's your choice in running? Like, do you enjoy it or is it just a chore?
No, I think no, I really hate it. I think I've like kind of grown out of it. Like, cause I started running because I was like, well, honestly, it was like I saw Cam stuff and I was like, well, he's like, he knows what he's doing. So I'm just going to run. He's
literally an elite runner.
He started posting his
matter
splits.
what he legitimately is an elite runner. He probably missed his calling of like competing.
Dude, he pisses me off because he's like, he'll post his like watch and he's like, slow today, super slow pace. And I'm like, brother, you dropped 6:30s.
Like, what's his pace? 6:30s?
Yeah, he dropped 6:30s for like 15 miles. And you're like, dude, that's not slow.
He's an elite runner and has an elite mindset.
Yeah. And you combine those two. It's so dangerous. I don't know. What I'm doing right now is I'll run 3 miles like 4 days a week. Because I think the zone 2 thing, like you got to keep that.
So those are all zone 2. What's your zone 2 heart rate range for your age?
I try to stay, well, I don't know about my age, but just like what I can keep my heart rate at and stay conversational is like between 150 and 160.
Oh, damn.
So I'll just kind of keep it right there.
My heart rate's that high? I ain't talking.
My heart rate.
I'm old though.
In a workout, like when I did the open workout, my heart rate will get up to like 190.
Yes.
And then I feel like I'm gonna die at that. That's when I'm like, all right, let's back up a little bit.
So are you doing the open this year?
Yeah, I did the first workout at your old gym and got 220, which I think was good. I looked at some scores and I was like, okay, I'm better than some of these people. And then I retested it and got a worse score. So I decided I'm never retesting a workout again.
That's the ultimate. If folks don't know, the Open's just worldwide general workouts. They're very inclusive. They're not hard, but they're terrible. And every rep does count. And you have to have a judge. It's standardized. So to redo one and do worse is the ultimate suck. That's just the worst. I have done that. You had to put yourself through. Usually you'll quit. Like you'll look at the clock. Say it's a 15-minute workout and you're at minute like 9 and you're like, okay, there's no way I'm going to beat my old score. I'm done. And then everyone's going to like yell at you. You're not quitting.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. But then the dude that was judging me, I was like, this guy's going to be really mad if I do this.
Yes.
So I'm not going to quit.
That sucks redoing it, going through all that pain. So you went to CrossFit Spokane Valley. Was my wife there?
Yeah, I actually think she was.
Did you say hi or?
No, because I didn't know if it was like weird.
You should have said what's up. She's pretty easily to recognize.
Yeah.
She'd be the blonde girl with arms that are intimidating. And she works out like she thinks she's competing to win the CrossFit Games, even at a 9:30 class with a bunch of other soccer moms. Like my wife's very competitive. Does a good gym. So that's kind of where we finished our CrossFit stuff. Let's talk about Nate's ups and downs. I think the biggest thing you said on that post that I'm going to come back to is that it's not linear, folks. And if you can you almost have to recalibrate your perspective. Otherwise, like Nate, you have demons. You do, right? And they can take over. They can put you over 300 pounds, depressed. And that's a formula for not a good life.
Yeah, it's crazy, like, because you don't know, like, what's gonna trigger you or whatever. And like, I don't think like I have, because I'm really laid back. Like, I'm not. I don't know, but like then sometimes something will set you off, and you're like, oh, why does that make me mad? Like the other day, so my wife's got this sister. She's like, I don't know, 10 or something, maybe. I have no idea, but she's young, and she started saying "big back." I guess it's like what the kids are saying now.
My daughter's 10, and she literally said that last week.
Yeah, dude. See.
I'm not gonna eat any more of that. I don't want a big back.
Yeah,
I said, you don't want a big back? Like, what do you? Yeah. So I know what that means now.
Okay, yeah. So my wife's sister was like making fun. Like she's kind of savage, so she just like says stuff, and she was like, "Nate, you're a big back." And in my mind, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna punch this 10-year-old girl." But it's like it's different because like for obviously she's not like calling me fat. Like she's just saying that because she said it to every person in the house.
Yeah.
But then in your mind, you're like. It's weird because then it's like instantly I'm in 4th grade and I'm fat again. And you're like, oh man, I really don't like that. Like why? And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like you have to, I think you have to be mindful of that stuff. But yes, I'll have to like pull back to reality and be like, oh no, that's not me right now. Like I'm not about to go to a gas station and buy 3 burritos and a bunch of Little Debbies. Like,
so you were a fat kid most of your life?
Oh yeah, I've never not been fat.
Until now?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think you're fat right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
That's unfortunate. Okay. Comparison can be a thief of all joy, but if you're looking at this linear progression and plateaus that can honestly just take the wind out of your sails, what was some of the best streaks of momentum that you experienced in the last couple of years?
So I think like, I don't know, for me, I can just like feel it. Like when I'm like dialed and like everything's on, I'm like, okay, yeah, like I'm going to step on that scale and it's going to be 10 pounds less. And I don't know, a lot of people talk about non-scale victories a lot, which like, yeah, I get that that's important. But I also think that when you're losing weight, the scale is super important. Like,
okay.
I don't know, because I'm not like a doctor or anything, but I think you cannot put on muscle at the same rate that you can burn fat. I just don't think that that's how your body works.
Okay.
I might be wrong, but I don't know. I think.
So, did you ever have a body fat test initially before you started the journey?
Oh man, I've got a picture of one. I didn't do one when I was like super fat.
No DEXA scan, no in-body scan.
I did an in-body at like 286 pounds.
All right.
And I was 30. I have my phone. I must have been like 30, maybe 40%.
Okay.
Somewhere right around there.
I mean, that's a good metric to at least look at. Like, okay, of the 286, 40% of that is fat. I can equate that to how many fat pounds that is. And I can say, of the 286, this much is non-fat. And then you can measure your non-fat weight over time, which should potentially stay the same, if not go up.
Yeah.
And then the fat should be going down. Hence, you are increasing lean body mass while shrinking the size of fat cells. But it is hard to do both at the same time.
Yep.
Straight up. Like there's no getting around it.
You can't, like I've gotten way stronger this year, like way stronger. And I noticed it. Like I've got like I can see, I'm starting to see like a lot more definition. So yeah, like you definitely can put on muscle. I should, I've never actually thought about it to do it that way. Like if you think about it, you're right. Like out of that 286, 40% of that, so whatever that is pounds of fat on your body. Never thought about that.
And it'd be nice to do an in-body scan now.
Yeah, I need to
see if you're at 20%.
I bought this scale on Amazon for $10, and it said I was 18. So I'm gonna keep that scale around because I know that's not right.
I'm busting out my calculator. I want to do math.
This is fun. I bet I'm like 20. I don't know. What do you think? You think I'm like 25?
No.
Oh.
So what do you weigh? 223 or 220?
223.
Okay. Let's just go with 18. Yeah. Let's do that. So you would have 40 pounds of fat on your body.
Oh, okay. Actually,
currently.
That kind of makes sense.
Versus you had 114.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of checks out. Yeah, and so 80 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now your lean body mass, so 286 minus 40, I'm sorry, minus 114, you have 172 pounds of lean body mass when you weighed 286.
Okay.
So 172 pounds of non-fat. Water, bone, muscle, liquids, we'll just say. So 223 times 0.18, we said 40. 223 minus, sorry, folks, I know you're not into math. 183 pounds of non-fat. Okay. So up 10 pounds.
Yeah, that makes sense. That tracks.
Of we'll call it structure or organic material that does require oxygen 24/7 and does burn calories while you're at rest.
Yep.
Right now, while we're talking, which is why someone like me has a hard time putting on any weight, is because I have mostly lean body mass
Yep.
that is starving and I have to feed it all the time. So I have this high metabolism, not a genetic thing, just probably a learned behavior over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've increased your metabolism. You've increased your bone density, your lean mass density. Your strength will go up.
Yep.
Your endurance will go up. There's more things going on inside the cells of your muscle cells, like more things. So that's a good way to measure success and to keep an eye on it. Now, do we want you to walk around with 40 pounds of fat on your body? No. But do we want you to walk around with 0 pounds of fat on your body?
No.
Yep. And some people don't even understand that. So at a most basic level, you're a phenomenon. You're killing it. So where do you go from here? I think you keep challenge yourself, find the ways to do that through CrossFit or in ultras, elk hiking, also known as elk hunting. But how tall are you?
5. I'm like right in between 5'10" and 5'11", so I just say 5'11".
If you were to weigh 200 pounds and be 10% body fat, how many pounds of fat would you have in your body? 20.
Yeah, that's what I think is like. That's like probably end goal. I think.
I don't know.
You
much
think that's
past,
too small?
I don't think your build. I could see you make 205 maybe.
Okay.
At 10%, but I just don't know, like, sustainability wise, like, you want to find that sweet spot where, like, you royally screw up and have a giant bowl of ice cream and eat your feelings one night, that it doesn't, like, you're like, oh, whatever, that was just one time, and you jump back in, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's okay. I think you should live a life with like 80-20, like being disciplined 80% of the time and then some 20% to give yourself some grace as a human.
Yep.
But if you're going to sit there and weigh and measure your food and like test your body fat every morning and like that just sounds like a miserable life to me.
Yeah, I'm excited to stop weighing stuff. I'd like travel with a food scale everywhere I go.
You have to still, right? Like, but I think, God dang it, you're at the hardest part. Like, you've covered the 80% towards your goal, and now you're at the last 20% where like, you just got to decide, okay, am I okay with it taking 3 years to get to this goal? I mean, it took me 1 year or 2 years to get 80% of the work done.
Yep.
Am I okay with it taking maybe 2 or 3 more years of continuity to get to this number that's supposed to define my happiness? No. But if you just look at it as a trajectory and then keep putting new obstacles and challenges, and like your post yesterday, it's just not linear. There's going to be ups and downs. It's a little bit of a stock market, right?
Yep.
But at the end of the day, how do you feel like about yourself? How do you feel physically? And if I said, let's go run 10K today, could you?
Oh, yeah.
If I said, let's go do an hour-long CrossFit workout, could you?
Yeah.
If I said, let's go grab the rucksacks and go elk shed hunting all day, could you?
Yeah, and that's actually one thing that's been like big for CrossFit for me is like developing those skills and like getting it is like, it's this whole new area to progress in. Like running, I've realized like I'm not ever going to be an elite runner.
Okay.
Like I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. And people say whatever, like it's just not in the cards for me. But not that I can be an elite CrossFitter. I worked out with Luke Parker.
Oh, he's elite.
I'm not gonna get there. But I can look at the class and go, okay, that guy over there, I'm gonna beat him in this workout, and then I can.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh wow, I did it. So tomorrow I'm gonna beat that guy, and you can keep showing up. Or like right now, I've been working on muscle ups a bunch, and I just got one off of a box the other day.
Nice.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm not that far from getting it. Just I go jump on a bar and do a muscle up. And so like those things are like, it's a whole new area to just start improving and start winning at that stuff, which I think is really cool.
I think it's really cool. You're giving me flashbacks of when owning the gym and just getting these regular people to do some cool little skills that like fuel you. And I loved it when members would come in, do a class, and then they'd be like, hey, would you mind helping me with this one skill? And like, yeah. And you help them for 15 minutes and they hang out another 15 minutes. And like, dude, that's 30 minutes in addition to their hour workout. They're busy. We're all busy. And they're just working on this thing that's actually going to lead towards a more enjoyable, higher quality life outside the wall. I like that. I think that makes sense. Your wife's bought in on all this?
Oh yeah, she so we went down and we did this workout with Rich Froning and crew. It was
You
fun.
went to Mayhem?
No, in Utah. We were at the Hunt Expo.
Okay.
And we went to this gym, and she's been going to like Planet Fitness and stuff, and like she's been doing her thing. Like she's been grinding for sure. She's down like 20 or 40, maybe 40 pounds.
You should probably be accurate when you say this, because if she hears this, she's going to want all the credit.
I know. She's definitely going to listen to this, and she's definitely going to be mad that I don't know off the top of my head.
She looks great.
She's killing it. Like
she's killing it.
She also, like some BTS stuff. Maybe I can share this, maybe I can't.
Interrupt this pod, tell you about one of our awesome partners, Easton Archery out of Salt Lake City. That's right. Everything is made in the US of A. I've toured their factory in person. It's pretty awesome. We're going to do another factory tour soon on YouTube. But right now, I want to tell you about the Easton 5.0. I use this in Montana. This is a great 5mm arrow, if not one of the best on the market now. This one comes in at 8.4 grains per inch. And if you order the match, you will get the hit insert plus the collar, which is a perfect marriage for durability. Now, there are other brands out there in the 5mm category with similar spines, but for those, you will have to do spine alignment with Easton, and their spine around shaft, you will not. Their process is seamless, and so you're going to get the best arrow on the market made with American resources, American labor. This is a great all-around arrow for Total Archery Challenge, for anything out west, and your whitetails. Also, check out the new FMJ Max, which is a great lighter option than the traditional FMJ. And then you can check out the tried and true Parallel Pro 4mm. These are my favorite. Easton Archery. Easton is a proud partner of ours, making great products that you can be confident with.
Let's talk about backcountry recharging, battery banks. I use Dark Energy Poseidon. I can get quite a few charges on my cell phone. That's also what we use to recharge action cameras and DSLR cameras. We also use their solar to recharge our banks. I usually have 2 battery banks with me at all times in the backcountry. I never want to run out of juice, and I use my phone quite a bit, not for taking pictures or looking at Instagram. I use my mobile phone a ton when hunting elk, obviously looking at onX, running, tracking, things of that nature. So can't have a dead battery in the backcountry. So Dark Energy, we have a discount code. It is ELKSHAPE. It'll take 10% off. They have solar options as well so that you can recharge your battery bank in the backcountry. I run 2 battery banks almost at all times, and I can get through several days hunting in the backcountry with those. And they're bulletproof, man. Like the way that they're built, you can keep water out of them. You can drop them. They'll still work. They can take a beating. Dark Energy, discount code ELKSHAPE, save you 10%. Hey guys, Dan here. We're going to interrupt the pod, tell you about ELKSHAPE training. This is a workout program dedicated to hunters, built by strength and conditioning elk hunters. That's right, I write all the programming. There's 2 tracks, the Hustle track and the Limitless. Hustle track is for those that have minimal equipment, and then the Limitless track is for those that have full-on access to a gym. Both paths lead to the same goal: you more fit, more successful, and a better trajectory for more elk hunting years to come. Separation is definitely in the preparation when it comes to fitness, and it's a huge advantage to be fit, and it's easier to stay fit year round. Our program is periodized so that you are peaking right before September gets here, and we have a complete off-season and preseason program. Head over to elkshape.com, check out ELKSHAPE training. It is month to month, pay as you go, stop when you want. Back to the pod.
So for a lot of people, you'll get married, your wife gets on birth control, and then you wonder, oh, wow, my wife just got on birth control and she gained a bunch of weight and she's not happy and she's mega depressed. What's going on? I've learned about this thing called PCOS have you know what that is?
Nope.
Okay, so some women have this, I don't know what it stands for, but they get this condition, PCOS, and basically what happens is you gain a ton of weight, you get like, you're basically like borderline diabetic with the way your body processes stuff. And then, like, you can't lose weight, like, you get super moody and your hormones are just crashed. So that happened to my wife, and she didn't know it. Like, you wouldn't know. And then she started doing, like, a bunch of blood testing and stuff, and she, like, figured out that she has this PCOS thing. The number one thing that they prescribe to people with PCOS is Ozempic, because your body's so insulin resistant that it just has a impossible time. So my wife, we're pretty anti-Ozempic in our house.
Okay.
So she was like, hey, I'm going to go down this rabbit hole. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to figure out what this PCOS thing is. And she has. And she's like, so she started working with the doctor, got blood work done, and they're like, hey, you couldn't have kids if you want to. You're completely infertile. And then she's like completely reversed that. So she's like fertile again. She has regular cycles again. She started losing weight. Like, awesome. Mood swings are gone. Like, just awesome. So there's like a lot of other behind the scenes stuff too. Like, in addition to the weight loss, she's like completely reversed this PCOS thing, which I think is just freaking awesome.
I don't know what to say. That's incredible. It's
but she sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go for it.
She saw us all work out at this gym, and she's like kind of wanted to get into the CrossFit thing, but she's always like been intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like, so Rich was doing this workout, I was doing it, and then there's this lady doing it that was like a little bit bigger. And my wife was like, she starts talking to the gym owner, and she was like, wow, I didn't know that you could do this. Like, you've got like the world's fittest dude, and then you've got Nate, who's like right probably in the middle, and then you got this other lady, and she's like kind of struggling to get through it, but she's still doing it.
Yep.
And it's adaptable to everybody. So it was like, we went home, and on Monday she was at her first class, and then she's been grinding CrossFit since.
So she's been doing it now for 2 weeks straight?
No, I think she's like into week 4 now.
4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Momentum's being built. Does
Yep.
she enjoy it?
Oh yeah, she loves it.
She's sore it.
Yeah, she does a good. She'll break. She only does 3 classes a week right now.
Smart.
Because I was like, hey, don't come and start working out every day. Like,
Yeah.
do not do that. So she'll do 3 classes, and then she plays pickleball for like, the days she doesn't go to class, she plays pickleball for like 4 or 5 hours. She's been sore, but she's been doing a good job managing it. She's really trying to get her first pull up right now, and it was cool because she was like, man, I can't do a pull up. I bet if I work out for a year, I'll get one. And I was like, no, I bet if you work out for a month, you'll get one. So we've been doing like a banded progression. It's been cool.
So when you made your decision on your journey, you did a December Chub Challenge through the Instagram thing?
Yep. Yeah.
Was that the first time did you do the whole month?
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I won nothing.
You didn't win a single thing.
No.
Damn.
So what happened was, I remember it was like that summer of 2022, I would drive 2.5 hours one way to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I had tons of windshield time. So then I just started watching YouTube videos. So I started watching your stuff, and I was like, man, I used to do hunting when I was growing up. This is cool. Like, this guy's doing it with a bow. He's like in the back. I'm going to do that.
Yep.
So I hopped on Google, and I was living in Texas, and I said, state with most elk and easiest tags. And so I was like, oh, Colorado, dude. There's like 500,000 elk in the state. How can I not kill one? So I went to Colorado, and that trip I was 300 pounds. I posted a thing the other day of me on that trip, and it's funny because I'm wearing like 2XL Sitka stuff, which is like way big on me now, and my gut's like hanging over my belt, like bad. And that trip was like so hard, but also so fun that I was like, okay, yeah, I should probably get this thing figured out. And then came home, didn't really do much. We went on a trip to Hawaii and just like gorged myself in Hawaii during Thanksgiving. So then coming back from that was the Chub Challenge. And then I was like, okay, this is going to be,
This is it.
This is where I kick things off. So yeah, I just grinded that first Chub Challenge. And then that was like the momentum that kept me going into that next year, into now. And then so today.
Okay. Love that. You are 300 pounds. Could you do a pull-up, bodyweight pull-up?
I
at
could
300.
No, I could sort of.
What weight did you hit where you could do a bodyweight pull-up?
It's a good question. I bet I could get one at like maybe 265, somewhere around there.
What weight did you hit where you started doing weighted pull-ups?
Like 250.
Wow. That's a big, like, you're adding weight and doing pull-ups. That's cool.
My buddy Tyler, he's lost like, I think 100 pounds.
Okay.
That dude can rip pull-ups like you've never seen. If you're fat and you can get a pull-up while you're fat and then lose weight.
You're going to crush.
Yeah. That guy will rip. I think he'll listen to this. That guy, he will rip like 45-pound weighted pull-ups like they're just nothing.
Wow.
Strict muscle-ups. Like the dude's got just unreal pulling strength.
I love that. What did you weigh when you did your first marathon, ultra marathon?
260. I think it was like 268.
Yeah. Yeah. So what resources, I'm just going to keep these questions going.
Yeah.
I want people to know this stuff. What was the best resource for you to understand how to eat? Because you know you can't out-train your nutrition.
No, yeah, not at all.
I wish it was so.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, because I love to eat. Even
Don't we all?
someone asked me the other day, they were like, what do you do about cravings? And I was like, you ask yourself, do I want to eat this thing or do I want to not? Because the cravings are never going to go away. Like there's no trick. So eating, I started working with a coach for a little bit. And he helped me kind of understand like how food works and stuff, like kind of what to eat. And then I kind of played with it from there. But I think for the average guy, if you're like, maybe you don't want to hire a coach, whatever, I think it's kind of intimidating to do that. And I don't necessarily think you would need to. But if you were going to try to figure it out on your own, what I would do is go online, look up a TDEE calculator, total daily energy expenditure, put all your stats in that, and then it's going to spit you out a number. That number's going to be way more calories than you actually burn. Like, those are never actually accurate. Like, it's going to tell you probably like 3,500. Like, yours would probably say like 4,500
You
or something
think
crazy.
that, but I edit a lot.
Okay.
That's my downfall.
Yeah. So, you put that in there. It's going to give you a number. And then I would say that number, you have to think about like all the activity you're doing is that number. And then no, it's probably a little high. So take a little bit off and then eat at that for like 2 weeks. And then after those 2 weeks, if you gained weight, you ate too much. If you lost weight or if you stayed the same, that's kind of what you'd ideally hope for, is just stay the same. Then you know, okay, this is my maintenance. Now you start looking at, okay, 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. So if I want to burn 1 pound of fat a week, that'd be 500 calories a day. If I want to burn 2 pounds of fat a week, that's more on the aggressive side. I need to eat 1,000 calories under that number that I found.
You're trying to figure out your deficit.
Yep.
And you have to be consistent with everything.
Yep.
So you know what you can control.
Yep.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Did you go? So if you could do it all over again, I would have liked you have done a DEXA
me
or
too.
InBody, so you're not relying on the scale.
Yeah.
Because even coming into this podcast today, you're still in that little bit of the old school mindset of like the scale is king, and it's not, because I'm sitting here convincing you that you've jacked up 10 pounds of lean body mass while shrinking 80 pounds of fat.
Yep.
Which is incredible. So the next stage for you, we figure today, is somewhere around 205 to 210 at 10 to 12 body fat, which I know is sustainable.
Yeah.
Especially if you're staying active and eating a balanced 80, 20, 80% consistent, 20% allow you to be a human being. Dude, you don't get, like, guys, you don't get cheat days where you just have an entire day of eat what you want. You could sabotage a whole week or month in one day. But if you like take your wife out for a dinner, obviously you try to like have some control and get some protein. But maybe you do eat a really nice restaurant burger with the buns on one time.
Yeah.
And maybe next time you go out, you're the guy saying, will you wrap that in lettuce?
Yep.
I'm a douche. But you're not. You're not a douche. You're trying to get somewhere.
Well, and like thing is, like, everyone's got like gluten in town. Like, no one cares. Like,
Nobody
you
cares.
can order as weird as you want. No one cares how you order.
The fries are great, but I will take a side salad instead, and please put the dressing on the side.
Yep.
Like, those disciplined decisions, you just have to have a really big why. I think you're there to motivate and encourage people. I don't know why you have a regular job. It makes me laugh because you have more Instagram followers than I do by a ton. You're genuinely a funny dude. Like, legitimately, you came in here, we're like going to do some reels here in a little bit. Like, great ideas, just fun stuff that I would never think of. You know how serious I am. Like, I can't turn it off. I'm super intense.
I remember when we worked out last time.
Yeah.
I've told a few people this story. I was like, oh, there's squats in the workout. I just had Tommy John's on my elbow, or on my knee. So I just, and you were like, you look at me and you go, that's an elbow surgery. And I was like, I know. it's a joke. And then you're like, oh, there was a joke.
I'm so sorry, man. I can't turn that off.
Well, no, and that's like the cool thing is, like, I don't think you should. Like, everyone needs to lean into what you do.
Yeah, you just have to. I can't change who I am.
Yep.
God made me pretty intense for whatever reason. But I am, man. I breathe fire for my goals.
Yeah.
And I also get excited when people are getting to their goal. Like, I was excited for you to come over today. I just wanted to check in with you and be like, how's the struggle? Like, I really liked what you posted yesterday. That was honest.
Yeah.
That was real. Somebody, maybe doesn't get all the likes that your funny ones do, but somebody watched that yesterday and was like, well, shit, I'm too hard on myself. Like, this guy's sharing this struggle. There's ups and downs. There's plateaus. It doesn't have to, it discouraged me. By watching this, it encouraged me to stay on my path. Like,
and that's why I posted that.
That matters, man.
So recently, this dude that I like, we go back and forth with, like, you'd actually like his stuff probably. He's not in the hunting space at all. He's in the CrossFit space, but
who is it?
Meme for Time.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, his stuff's funny. He messaged me, like, we messaged back and forth, but I never met him or anything. And he was like,
He's that like Mexican dude
Yeah.
in California or something.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
actually really fit.
yeah, he's super fit. He
Yeah.
like competes and stuff. Like
Yeah.
he's good. He messaged me and was like, dude, I can tell you're just way too hard on yourself from your content. And I was like, that's crazy. Like if like a random person just like can tell that. But so that's why like I posted that yesterday. 'Cause I'm like, dude, I know like a bunch of people will like go through this same thing and then feel just stuck or feel like, oh, I haven't done enough. So I'm going to start posting a lot more stuff like that. Just
Yeah.
kind of some BTS stuff of like, hey, like, here's me doing this. Cause that's at the end of the day, like I want people to look at my page and say, oh, if this dude, like I'm really not, like there's nothing special about me. I grew up in a tiny town in Eastern Oregon, like super, super run of the mill dude. But I'm able to have like a bunch of these cool opportunities now.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want people to see themselves in that. Like, oh, you could do the same thing.
Yes.
You really could. Like, I told you that the other day. Do you know what glazing means?
I don't.
It's like, I don't know exactly what glazing means, but it's another one of like the young people stuff.
Okay. So we know. I know. My kids say. I hope these aren't profanity because I
think glazing kind of is.
Okay. So my kids say Sigma.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I know that one.
Spiggity.
Skibbity.
Skibbity.
Yeah, I know that one. I just
What the skibbity Sigma?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what did you just say? And then there's another term. Doesn't matter.
Ohio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know this stuff? Is it
My
the 10-year-old?
my wife's siblings.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is glazing?
I think glazing is like when you're like really like buttering someone up. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure that's what it means.
Okay.
And I wasn't trying to like do that the other day, but I messaged you and I was like, dude, like, thank you. Like genuinely thank you. Because I feel like right now I'm getting all these really cool opportunities that like just I'm so grateful for. Like I got to work out with Rich Froning. I get to be here, hang out with you, like all this cool stuff. And it was because I watched your stuff and was like, oh, I'm gonna try to figure this thing out. And then like your Chub challenge, like inspired me. Like, okay, I need to start working out. Like here's exactly how to do it. Like here's an easy intro. And then I posted it through the like just along the way. And like I don't know, I want other people to do that too. Like, dude, make content. Like document your journey. Like do a journey.
Yes.
Document the journey. And then it's gonna unlock all these other doors that you never thought were possible.
Yeah, there are people that hate your content,
Oh, I know.
but there's also
Someone just sent me a
100
message the other
and
day.
something thousand people that hit a button to be like, I want to see when he posts.
Mm-hmm.
Same with me, man. I make YouTube videos and stuff and podcasts and Instagram stuff. I know they comment. There's people who do not like me. I had a great one the other day. It was, I just want you to know I can't stand you, but damn, you make the best archery content. So I watch it.
That's so crazy.
That was a YouTube comment I read yesterday.
Dude,
I was
YouTube
like,
is brutal. I just started doing YouTube.
No, it's
and
not.
the comments on YouTube are way more brutal than Instagram.
It
'Cause
doesn't
Instagram,
matter.
everyone on Instagram's like, hey, you're cool. Like, I support you. And you start seeing the familiar faces.
Yeah.
But on YouTube, I just haven't been like, I haven't done the YouTube thing very long. But like on my reels on YouTube, people are like, genuinely, I don't understand why you'd post this. Like, you need to delete your accounts, like stuff like that.
oh yeah.
You're like,
no,
wow.
they're savages on YouTube. But the point was like, everybody should make some sort of content if they want, because I promise there is an audience for you, every person.
Yep.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yep.
And there's gonna be people that connect with you. There'll be people that don't. Well, that's fine.
And dude, if nothing else, like when I die, my kids are gonna have a huge like, oh, this is who my dad was when he was my age.
Here's a catalog. Let's learn about our dad.
Yep.
Or whatever. I always think about that for some of the hunts that we put up on YouTube. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, I really hate having my hunts filmed. To be quite honest, I don't like to share it with anyone. I like to hunt by myself. I'm weird. But it is kind of cool to maybe someday show my kids or their kids get like, yeah, this is what I'm really into. This is kind of what I'm very passionate about. This is great. So your vision for your content going forward is still some cringy stuff, still some funny stuff, but you're going to sprinkle in a little bit more seriousness, like check in. And obviously someone like me is more interested in the real Nate.
Yep.
But not everybody is. A lot of people want the funny Nate, and that's cool.
Yeah. Well, and I'm gonna keep like, I'm not gonna like change who I am. Like,
Right.
this is who I am. So I'll still like, yeah, it's gonna be mostly like funny, like dumb stuff, but like also keep it real on there too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that would be a good step for you.
I'm never gonna be like you. Like it's not gonna.
And I'm
like,
never gonna be like you.
Yeah, and that's a cool thing. Like someone just I actually just got a message while I was driving over here today.
Yeah.
I went to Initial Ascent and was like looking at their packs and stuff.
Hell yeah.
And someone was like, "Why would I ever listen to your opinion on packs when you've never carried an elk out in a pack?" And I commented back to him and said, "This is not a gear review video. Like, dude, I'm not gonna do gear reviews.
Yeah.
Because I don't know enough about stuff or care that much about stuff, but like people can come look at your stuff.
And you're smart enough to know what your lane is, which is why you made that comment back. And that's true. Like your lane is, I'm passionate about elk hunting.
Yeah.
These dudes are down the street. These are good dudes. Looks like a good pack. This is my initial impression.
Yep.
Nowhere did I say this is a gear review.
Right.
Yeah, man, people sometimes just get a little excited on the internet.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, that's the thing that was like, it's just so easy to like say whatever, but no, I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm not going to make like super serious content ever.
I don't think that's you, but I do like yesterday's post.
Yeah.
I've made it abundantly clear. I was like, holy shit, this is powerful. And I think that's important to know that you have that power because you've lived that life and you've done the hard work and the ups and downs, the self-doubt, the saying no to food that would make you feel good for about 30 seconds.
Yep.
Saying yes to food that you know is only going to make you feel good for 30 seconds. See how I said that back to back? That's not going to go away.
Yeah.
You know, making decisions to not drink or to get extra sleep or to go jump in a cold plunge at first light, although I don't try to post cold plunge stuff ever.
Do you do that?
Oh no, not anymore.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I've taken probably 1,000 ice baths in my life.
Okay.
I'm a believer.
Yeah.
But currently right now I'm working on trying to get a sauna and I believe in contrast and I haven't had one for a year.
Yeah.
We moved. So I would like an ice bath. But I want the shitty kind.
Yeah.
Which means
like a horse trough.
No, that's the easy ones.
Okay.
The kind where it keeps at a certain temperature and the water
you're talking
moves.
about the circulation. Oh,
you can't get a barrier. Like I did it at Cam's. And that was my first time in one of those ice baths where you can't get a thermal barrier.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, he's like 3 minutes. I'm like, psh. Man, I'm telling you, I looked at Cam. I was like, how much more time? He's like, you got 2 more minutes. And I was literally like, how much more time? He's like, you got 90 more seconds. I was like, I'm not even going to ask anymore. And I just could not catch my breath or ever feel comfortable. And then I couldn't get warm.
Oh yeah.
Forever afterwards. That's the ones you want, the kind that move. Have you done those yet?
I've never done one at all, dude. I'm not. I actually think. Can I say the G word on your podcast?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think cold plunging's super gay.
Here's my morning routine. I'm gonna start off with a glass of water and some vitamins, and then I'm gonna get into the cold plunge straight out. You know, and then I'm gonna raw dog this. I mean, hopefully I never do a morning routine video. You know that they're so cliche.
Oh, I know. And it's like, then you like shame on other people. Like someone one time was like, hey, meet me at this gym. We're going to work out at 4. And I was like, brother, I'm not waking up at 4. There's a zero. Unless I have to, but if I don't go to work today until 2, why am I waking up at 4? And I was trying to explain this to him and we never worked out together. But I was like, dude.
I'll get up at 4 for one thing.
Yeah, same.
And that's it. Elk hunting, man.
Yep.
And sometimes I didn't go to bed.
Yeah.
Because I'm elk hunting. Like I don't need sleep when it's elk hunting season. I'm weird.
Yeah.
You can ask anyone who's ever filmed or gone on hunts with me. I'm weird. We will sleep in October. Yeah. We are going to find the elk. And that's why I want to finish this pod today. You have not killed an elk with a bow yet.
Dude, I got pretty close last year.
How close did you get?
I got close twice. There was a calf that I saw like 50 yards from me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, where there's a calf, there's got to be more elk.
Right.
Never found the calf again or any more elk. But I put up a camera there and got the calf on camera like multiple times with no other elk. So
here's the thing about calves, man. You ever heard, I don't know how long you've been elk hunted, but like calves historically, I can't use the word. Can I use the R word?
Yeah. It's Trump's back in,
okay.
Dude, we're good.
They're retarded. Okay. They literally, like, everyone will get the memo. We're going to bed on this north-facing patch of timber today. Uh-huh. And everyone's there. And, like, the calf will be, like, not get the memo and bed 500 yards away. And then in the middle of the day, you'll hear, like, these calf calls. Yeah. And they're like, all over the place, and you're like, what is going on? And then eventually a mom will be like, cow back, and then they'll come running over. I can't tell you how many times I've hung out with elk middle of the day in their bedrooms, and some rando calf didn't get the memo on where we're bedding. So what I would assume is that you're near a bedding area, and it's just a calf being dumb, not understanding how it works yet, which is why they get eaten so easily by predators. So that's also why calf calls are so safe. If you're trying to move in on a herd, they're pretty used to, or accustomed to calves being like lost.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That lost calf is such a safe bet. What else did you get into? Any bugling?
Yeah, so my buddy and I, we went to this spot. It was the last day that I was able to hunt, and we went up to the spot. We parked the truck, hiked in a little bit, and then it was like we parked here, and there was just canyon. It was like 400 feet down, 400 feet up, like a vert. I don't know how much we actually walked up and down, but we bugled. It wasn't light yet, and then we heard a bull rip off on the other side. So we went down, up, and then got set up, never heard him again, bugled again, and then heard him at the other end of the canyon. So went down the canyon, never heard anything, never saw anything, and then came back down and went back up. And at this point it was like noon. So I was like, hey, dude, just like for shits and giggles, let me rip off a bugle and just see what happens. And then the bull freaking started bugling again across the canyon from us. But at this point, the wind was just going up. And so we like start looking, and then we glass him, and he's like 300 yards across this canyon from us, and right exactly where we were set up. And so we were like, okay, well, the thermals are going straight up. Like the chances of us being able to get on this bull are pretty low. Let's just go back. Then we'll kind of figure out what we do from here. And then we got back to our cars, and there was caution tape all over our cars and a note from the Forest Service that said the forest was closed.
Forest was closed?
Yeah, like I guess because everything was on fire where I had it this year. And they freaking closed it while we were hunting it.
Yeah, the fires were bad this year.
Yeah, they were really bad.
So you're an Idaho resident?
Yep. I've got a good strategy this year, though. I've got one spot that I didn't hunt last year in Oregon that one of my buddies did. And I sent him like an Onyx pin, and I was like, hey, dude, this spot, cash. And I don't know why I didn't hunt. This is so dumb, dude. I should have hunted this spot because he was into elk every day.
And you had an Oregon tag?
Yeah. But I wanted to hunt in Idaho.
So what's the plan this next year? Oregon?
So if I can pull that tag, it's like you don't need any points, but it's like a 50-50. Like
I got you.
You're either going to get it or you're not. So if I pull that tag, and then I'm also going to hunt a different unit in Idaho.
Okay.
Where I hunted last year, you could not glass like very much at all.
Thick.
And I'm going to hunt an open country
Go
place.
more open.
Yeah.
Okay. Employment wise, are you going to shut shit down so you can hunt the entire time?
Yeah. So
or are you going to be responsible?
No. So just recently I went through like a pretty weird transition. So
you're transitioning?
Yeah, I am. I'm transitioning bad right now.
Okay.
So
do tell.
I had a pest control business that I started with a buddy.
Yep.
And he came to me one day and was like, hey, here's what we're going to make next year. And I was like, that will not cover my mortgage for the year.
Yikes.
And I was like, what? So we just had this like just difference of opinion on how we wanted to run the business.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know if this is going to work long term. I think we should just cut things here, and then we'll just go our separate ways. So we're like in the process right now of selling that business. And yeah, that was like my main time suck last year. And so I won't have that. And so, yeah, my wife actually was just telling me this the other day. She was like, hey, you need to leave like August 28th and just leave until you come home with an elk. Because if you don't kill an elk this year, it's like really embarrassing.
It's so hard to do, man. But
I know.
I will say time is the number one killer.
Yeah.
Even for myself, like I need as much time as possible because the elk don't want to die.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of hunters out there, and they have home field advantage.
Yeah. Well, do you know what's so funny too? Like this year, I've got some good deer hunts that I'm going to go on, and I'm going to kill my biggest deer ever, which is not hard because I've only ever killed small deer, but I'm going to kill a really nice deer this year.
Calling your shot, huh?
Well, it's like you'd have to be an idiot not to in this spot, but no one's going to care about that. Like you have to kill an elk.
You do, and that's why I'm concerned. I want to like make sure you have. I don't know if it works out. Maybe I'll just have to like dedicate a couple days and just go wherever you're going and get you to kill an elk so I can help pack one out with you.
The only problem with that is like someone else is like really serious about helping me that way too. And I'm like, I don't know. Like
You kind of want to do it on your own?
I've been through,
I respect that.
I've been up to this point. Like I've been trying to figure it out. And I feel like if it's like, well, the other thing too is like, if you were to do that, then everyone would be like, oh yeah,
asterisk.
I could kill an elk freaking in my sleep if Dan Staten took me. So I like, for me, but also for next year and the year after that, like I don't want to just sit in front of a feeder and shoot an elk. I could go down to Texas right now and do that. Like I really want to figure out, okay, this is how you locate them. Here's how you get in on it. So yeah, I think I'm there.
What we can do is not when we're recording, you'll tell me where you're going. And if I've been there, which there's a chance I have, I'll kind of give you some extra little information on maybe what not to do.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty good at figuring out what not to do. That's one of my strengths is I screw it all up.
I don't want to say anything right now because I'm not good at, I'm not very tight-lipped.
You need to be. So the physical fitness will be there. The shooting will be there. The gear will be there. It's just a matter of understanding elk.
Yeah.
And once you do that and you can figure out what they're going to do most likely before they go do it, all of a sudden you'll have multiple encounters.
Yep.
I'm the kind of guy that actually likes to have at least an encounter a day.
Really?
Which is insanely difficult to do, right?
Dude, yeah.
But I kind of feel like I failed that day if I'm not in on elk.
Really?
Yep. Even on public land. Like I'm going to be into elk that day. I'm going to figure it out. And sometimes we can talk about it afterwards, but like the stuff I do, to figure out where the next set of elk are at or maybe unconventional, but fitness is definitely a big ally of mine for elk hunting. And I think you could use that to your advantage. Yeah. Quite honestly.
Well, that's like, I feel like last year even I felt pretty unlimited. Like I could just kind of go.
I like that.
But yeah, I think now I need to mix. I just need to like know more of what I'm doing. But I've never spent any time behind glass. And I think that might be a mistake.
Definitely. And, thick country is great if you're a good elk caller or that the elk are vocal.
Yeah.
Thick country is not fun to hunt when they're not vocal.
Yeah.
There's other predators and you can't glass. Like, how are you going to find elk? You're going to read some sign? Well, you better cover some ground to find the freshest sign.
Dude, I found a ton of wolf crap this year in Idaho. Like a lot.
I got ran the heck out of this area that you're in right now. Hunted there for 19 years. And I know it inside and out.
Yep.
I don't even hunt anymore for elk.
Dude, I went to a spot in Oregon that I know there's like always elk in this one like little drainage. Like my dad just killed a bull there. Like everyone I knew in my town has killed a bull like in this one spot. And I went in there and there was no elk crap anywhere.
Ghost town.
And then I found a fat pile of dog crap. And I was like, oh, no one's bringing their dog here. That's wolf crap.
Yeah. Let's not go down this road.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to call this a pod. You're advertising right now to the audiences out there to come on over to your Instagram page for some humor, for some humility, but authentically a real dude.
Yeah.
Chasing his goals.
Yeah. And I just want to see, I really want people to know, like, dude, if I can do any of this stuff, like you really can too.
Yeah.
Like I'm not special. Like I don't have anything figured out. Like, I've started, I think like 3 or 4 businesses now and they've all failed. So like,
nice.
I'm not a guru of anything. Like if I can do this stuff, you can too. And that's really the message I want to get across.
Guys, I'm gonna leave a link to his IG. Give him a follow. He also got a YouTube channel and he's posting more frequently. Check him out there. Separation is in the preparation. We'll catch you on the next one.